Okay, well, hello everybody, and I promised you a tutorial about how I leatherize my little journals. So that's what I'm going to show you today. I tried to get everything close by so it wouldn't take too long because I'm really paranoid about how long the video takes. So first of all, what you're going to need is two 6x9 envelopes like this. Okay, and then what you're going to do, okay, so two like this. So I just put some dimensions on here. It's about 9.5 inches from this end to this end. So of course the middle is 4 3/4. So depending on how wide you want your spine to be, I like to be able to put 2 holes at each end. You don't have to. If you're going to sew it, you can just have one. Okay, so because I have 2 rivets in mine, or two holes in it, then I usually put a 1/2 inch for the crease for the spine. So I'll score it at both those sides. If you have a center ruler, you can also do that to pick your center. So then on your second envelope like this, what you're going to do is you're going to cut. I try and avoid this piece because I don't want the writing. So cut here and here 4 inches. So this is what you're going to cut off right here. And then I just put a hole punch there. So you're going to take that off and you're going to open this up. And you're going to fold this down. You can take this off, put some glue, of course, and slide this on there nice and snug. Glue it all up. And so this is going to fold in, and it's going to fold over like that. Now this here, you don't have to have this long. You can make it 2 inches, you can make it 3, whatever you want, depending how far you want it to fold under your things. Like for example, on this one, this is folded deep into it, but I wish I hadn't done that. I wish I had just did it here. I'm not finished this one, of course. It's not sewn, the signatures aren't sewn in, but yeah, I wish this one I would have just cut it a little shorter. On the bigger one, I realized that, and I did cut it. This is the big 11x14 envelope. This one I did cut a little bit shorter so it doesn't go all the way in. Okay, so now that's what you're going to do. You're going to tuck it onto here. Make sure it's all glued and everything. Have your opening however you like it. I mean, you can round it. You can do anything to it. And then off your envelope that you cut your 4 inches off, cut another strip off. That myself, I do, sometimes I do 2 inches, sometimes I do 3. It all depends how much support you want. So this here you're going to score in the same places, and you're going to glue this down on top of here. Okay, and it's okay, you don't have to be too fussy about it because you're going to sew it after. So that is the basic template of it. So you have the fold there, you have your reinforced place for the spine, and then it's going to fold up really nice. You're going to have your spine. Okay, so once you've done all that, it's all glued. Everything's glued down how you want. I don't know what kind of envelopes you find, but I can't find the ones without this writing on here. So myself, what I'm doing is on this one, I'm going to be having a piece of linen on here or something else. I'm not finished with it yet, maybe a pocket, but that'll definitely be hid. Okay, okay, so now once you have that, oh jeepers, I forgot something. Okay, I'm back, sorry. Okay, so what I found, if you use the matte medium to go all over and finish everything, I find that the ink after smears a lot and it gets way too shiny for my liking. It doesn't look, you know, matte and feel like like a leather. The other one, the matte medium, feels more slick, or this feels more rough like a leather. I just like the feeling a lot better, and I find it just works a lot better. I've tried a bunch of them and tested them, and this is the one that worked the best for me. So what I do is I keep my brushes in a baggie, Ziploc baggie, so they stay nice and wet. I'm not washing them all the time. I label which medium I have on it. So this one I have decoupage, and my decoupage that I use is Martha Stewart. I haven't tried another one. I've always bought Martha Stewart, but I'm sure the other decoupage will work just as fine. Now this one says gloss. It's not super shiny, but if I purchased it again, I think I'd purchase a matte. But I like there's a tiny bit of a shine, which I really like it anyways. So what you're going to do is take your decoupage. After everything's glued, you're going to put 2 good coats on it. Really, but even. Like not sloppy good, but full coverage good. Make sure it dries really good. Then do it again. And then make sure it dries. Use your hair blower, leave it overnight. Just make sure it's perfectly dry, because your ink will all smear otherwise. Okay, so after it's all dry with your 2 coats of decoupage on it, then what I do is I take my my distress ink, which I use this one, Vintage Photo, and you can probably tell, I don't know how many times I've left it and I haven't closed it, but it still works good, thanks God. Thank God. Okay, so if you look at this one is after I have after I have the 2 coats of decoupage. Oh, sorry, before you decoupage it, do any sewing you want on it. I like to put little, I like to sew down where my spine is. I like to make some little fancier designs. On this one, I put this one, and once it's inked, this really shows really nice. Like, I don't know, you can see a little bit of it here, but I've mostly covered it with things. But I've done my spine here, you can see, on both sides. I put my little hook for my tassel. On the back, I did another design stitch. So, you can pretty much do whatever stitches you want on it. Some of you may want to, do a stitch around the whole thing, which is beautiful. So, okay, so now what I do is I just take a piece of cardboard or something to work on. I don't want to, the one I work on looks like this, so we're going to just avoid that one. So take yourself a piece of something you don't mind getting it dirty. And then once your decoupage is all dry, I think this is going more than 10 minutes. Okay, I gotta hurry up. So, okay, so you're gonna take, I've done this one. I've done this little piece right here, 2 coats. And what I take is a sea sponge, like this. And I'll just do the inside right here. And I just dab it in really good. And this medium that's on there, the decoupage, it really works nice with it. So I just kind of go sponge around and get really good into where you have your sewing, so it gets nice and dark. And you just kind of twist as you're doing it. Just twist around while you're doing it. And then you're going to do this, and you're going to do all of the whole thing. And then you're going to let it dry, and then you're going to come back and do it a second time. And then what I've done recently that I really like, now I can't do it on this one because it's wet, but what I do now is, I don't know if you can see on here, but you can see little darker flecks. And what I've done is I've just crinkled up a paper and taken some black ink, and I don't know if this is dry enough, but whatever. So you're just gonna dab it in, just in all the wrinkles. You could probably wrinkle it up more, but then you're just gonna see, it's not dry, so it's probably not, yeah, it's not gonna do it. Okay, I'll just do it in here. So you're gonna just make, see how it's gonna, I don't know, can you see? Makes those little, well, that will be on here, and it looks really, really sharp. And then you can go ahead after, once it's dry, and take your other color that you've used, if it's vintage photo, walnut, whatever it is you use, and go over those black. The black for some reason doesn't smear. Any other color, if you put it under, it just smears and blends in with the brown, the other color. But the black, oh nuts, I put it in there. Anyways, the black doesn't seem to. So I love the way it looks. But anyway, so that's, once it's dry though, go over, put your black smushes down, and then put it over top, and then you get the creases like weathered leather. So anyway, very nice. I know in the light it looks shiny, but it's because the glare is right on it, but normally it doesn't. It looks more like this. You can see. Okay, so where are we? The decoupage. See this here, I do have the black in it. See, you can see how it looks tarnished. There, that's better. That's more what it looks like right there without the light beating on it. So then you go back. I haven't gone back over top of this, but you go back over this with the original one you were using, where mine is vintage photo, and just do a tiny little twist. And then you do that over the whole thing, and then you're pretty much done. You just make your signatures, decorate your top, make your signatures to go in it, sew your signatures in. Like if you want to put any more pockets and maybe half pockets and tucks and envelopes on the insides here, then it's so easy, and you can make a couple at a time. So it's just awesome. But just make sure, I just really stress that, make sure before you go back and put your black ink, let your 2 coats of your walnut or vintage photo ink dry, and then before that make sure your decoupage is dry. Otherwise everything just smears into everything. And sometimes the blow dryer isn't even enough. It's for some reason has to set overnight. But anyways, go give it a try. It's so easy, and just to put them together is and you can make, if you wanted, you could make this whole thing a little bit longer and have a wider spine. I mean, you can pretty much manipulate it any way you like. The one I have for me and my son for our travel journal, I don't want to really go through it because I got a lot of personal things in it. But this is, see, it's kind of, it shows really up light because of all the light. So really, no, I'm not going to get it. Really, it's darker than what it looks like. But anyways, so, I mean, you can put a closure any way you like. On this one here, I'm going to put 2 little holes and put a ribbon to tie it. And if you guys, any of you try it and make one, post it up. Let me see it. I'd love to see somebody else's. They're fun to make. They don't take a lot of time. And I'd love to see how you guys adapt or make it the exact same. Feel free. I mean, some of the ideas I've seen from some videos I've tried, but then I changed a lot of it too. So, but yeah, give it a try. Do it exactly the same or make it your own, whatever you like. And please don't forget to subscribe and like the channel. That'd be great if you do that for me. Oh, also, I just want to mention one more thing. When you're doing your inking, another thing you can do, you can use a little sponge like this. That you don't get the same look, but it's still nice. And these here, the bubble wraps, if you want to, you know, put the bubble wraps with the black or a darker shade of what you're using to to finish your paper, your journal. These work awesome. They look so cool. They look really nice. So that's another good idea. Okay, and my Etsy brag for today is I just ordered some stamps from Creative Image Stamps. Her stamps are very reasonable price. She's out of Kansas, USA. She also offers custom stamps, which I ordered one, and I ordered a very simple design that says created by, and then it has Sunshine LeClaire. So I'm anxious to see that. My favorite is wooden stamps. I just find it's just less work than unsticking the other ones, putting the other ones on. I mean, I use them and love them, but I like the wood rubber stamps. So anyways, go check out her site. She's got like tons of great stamps. And if you're lucky enough and you live in the US, your shipping will be lots less. And for me, I have to change everything to Canadian, plus the shipping's more, so it does cost me more. And I find her site is very reasonable compared to others. So check her out, Creative Image Stamps. So hopefully this video didn't run too long. And if you make any of these Leatherize journals, show them up and let us see them. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.